Yeah. I was talking to Chris about his favorite subject.
County.
Okay. Please stand for a moment of silence and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Westfield Leader, advertised on January 9, 2014. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and prominently posted on the Municipal Public Bulletin Board and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk, informing the public of the time and place according to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. I'd like to remind everybody to please turn off your cell phones and your other communication devices, and to please refrain from text messages and conversations, especially if you're on the dais. We appreciate it. Roll call, please, Ms. Ariana.
Mayor Kutraki?
Here.
Council President Tarantino?
Here.
Councilman Martin?
Here.
Councilman Matthew?
Here.
Councilman Neersted?
Here.
Councilman Petrozelli?
Here.
And Councilwoman Tedisco?
Here.
Minutes, please, Ms. Ariana.
Regular meeting of the Mayor and Council held on September 23rd, 2014, and workshop session of the Mayor and Council held on September 23rd, 2014.
Are there any corrections or changes? May I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented, Mayor.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Ariana, communications, please.
New Jersey State League of Municipalities Mayor's Tax Advisories.
Received and filed.
Comcast channel changes.
Received and filed.
South Hyrule inappropriate Democratic fundraiser invitations from Garwood Facebook page.
Received and filed.
Garwood Recreation Commission minutes.
Received and
And
filed.
Roy Valley Sewage Authority minutes.
Received and filed. Ordinances. This evening we have a public hearing on ordinance 14-12 as advertised in the Westfield Leader on September 25th, 2014. Ms. Ariano, please read the ordinance 14-12 by title only.
Yes, Mayor, an ordinance to enact Article 9 dumpsters and containers in Chapter 146, Streets and Sidewalks of the Code of the Borough of Garwood to regulate placement and maintenance of dumpsters and containers.
Is there any correspondence concerning ordinance 14-12?
None, Mayor.
Does anyone present wish to be heard concerning ordinance 14-12?
James 440 Spruce Avenue. Couple questions on this. I haven't seen this only for the first time this evening, but one thing I noticed is the fee is for only $5, and it would seem to me that it would cost the town more than $5 in time and effort for whoever's going to sign the permit approval and to verify that at the end of 14 days they actually go back and get another permit for another 14 days. So it seems to me the fee is a little low. I don't know what the fee should be, but $5 seems low. This only addresses dumpsters in the street, and my house next door to me was under construction for quite a while, and there was a dumpster in the driveway for several months, and so this doesn't address anything regarding permits for dumpsters in driveways. And I know there's one down on Spruce Avenue in the 100 block that's been there on the corner for many months, and I don't know how long it's permitted to be in the person's driveway. So those are the only two comments I have.
Any other, anyone else wish to comment? on the
Mayor?
ordinance? Yes,
Should I
sir.
comment now or later?
Comment now.
All right, 'cause I had raised the same issue that Mr. Denai just did when it was first introduced. I also believe that $5 is way too low. I really think it should be raised to $25, and I'd like to hear, some discussion on that. $5, we're losing money. If the objective is to have people, first off, encourage them to use their driveway rather than the street, $5 isn't going to do it. Second, if it's to ensure or to take care of any damage done to the street, $5 to do it. And third, $5 is the losing proposition for the administrative end. I think it really should be increased to $25, and like I said, I'd like to further discuss that.
Okay, the $5 isn't to repair damage to the street.
Understood. First comment?
Oh, I'm sorry, what was the first comment?
I understand that.
$5 is too low for a processing fee.
The processing fees, anything, $5 doesn't cover anything.
So, okay, maybe our borough clerk can address the processing fee. I mean, Ms. Ariano, what, the $5 is really just,
Well, when we were discussing it, we kind of kept it in line with the permit for a garage sale, because we didn't want to, the idea wasn't to make it a financial hardship for people, it was so that we would know they have a dumpster. And the same thing was the reason why they implemented the permits for garage sales in your home. Those are $4, not for the purpose of making it a hardship, but for the purpose of regulating it, knowing who's having it, how many they're having a year. So as I understand it, dumpster ordinance was for the purpose of the police would know they're in the street and how long they're in the street for, and that they make sure they're off the street. It was to stop them from damaging the street and causing traffic concerns. I believe the chief can comment further. We discussed this, and that's really what they were looking for, is just to know that they're there.
right.
I strongly recommend that we increase that fee. I really feel that one of the intents of this ordinance should be to basically discourage residents or commercial enterprises from using the street as their dumping ground, and to put the dumpster on their own driveway. If they cannot and they have to use the street, as Mr. Gennady indicated, it's going to take somebody within the clerk's office more than, $5 worth to actually do the process. It's also going to take the police more than $5 worth to go make sure that 14 days later it's gone.
Okay, but Bill, I don't know that our intent was to discourage them from putting it in the street and putting it in the driveway.
Right, I'm recommending
Our
you should.
intent was so that we knew it was there and the proper safety markings was on the dumpster. And so increasing the fee is really just a processing of paperwork. It's not to put a high fee to discourage you from putting it in the street.
Yeah, just a quick question. This came out of laws and license, right?
Yes.
That goes on that committee?
Myself, obviously, Chair, Councilman Tedisco, Councilman Warren.
Okay. And Mr. Bernard, if we amend this ordinance tonight, we can't pass it tonight, right?
It's in second reading.
Yes, you can't pass it if you amend.
Cannot pass it.
Cannot pass it if you amend.
It would come back to the next meeting.
Well,
Two
to
readings.
be honest with you, amending the ordinance doesn't make any sense because you have to re-advertise it anyway. So what we usually do is if you don't like the ordinance, we just vote against it or table it or something and just do a new ordinance.
Okay.
Well, the reason I ask it was on the committee and everything is, I'll vote for it. So if we got 4 votes, or 3 plus the mayor, we can get this done tonight.
I'd like to make 2 comments on this resolution as somebody that's sitting on the committee. One is, I think we do need to keep in mind that some residents here in Garwood do not even have the option of putting it in their driveway. And also, I think that we need to keep in mind that the taxpayers pay for administrative staff as well as police already. So I don't want to put a burden on them twice. So that's why I am comfortable sitting on this committee and coming up with $5.
And I understand, Councilman Mercer, what you want the intent of the ordinance to be, but that wasn't the original intent. And this ordinance, the recommendation of this ordinance came to us by actually it was by Captain Stouffer. And that, if I understand, that wasn't your intent either, so if you'd like to speak to what your intent of this ordinance was?
Just so we have some regulation over dumpsters.
And it's the safety of the markings, and that you know it's there to begin with, but not to deter people from using them and put them in their driveways.
You know, Bill, I don't think anybody's gonna get deterred by a $25 fee.
No. Exactly. So why not make it?
Because
At the
we're
same
not
time-
trying to provide a hardship on the residents for fees.
Even if it's not a hardship, it's just that nickel and diming effect of, it's, $5 is one thing, but 25 in addition to whatever they pay for that dumpster, I mean, that just took it from a $400 dumpster to $425. I don't know if we need to put that extra burden on the taxpayers.
I think just having the permit, whatever the cost is, I think people will say, hey, if you put it in your driveway, you don't have to get the permit. You'd be surprised. I think it may have actually a deterrent effect. Otherwise, I could fill out an application, send $5 down, you might be surprised.
And I think also it was a fair point brought up about residents that put it in their driveway and then keep it there for a length of time. That would eventually probably fall under a maintenance or Board of Health issue.
Right.
Right? If that was abused.
Possible storage,
Mhm.
land use.
Right. So, we didn't want to overstep our bounds with
Right.
private
And-
property either.
And I understand, I think that would be second ordinance anyway, because this would address what's in the street. I think a second ordinance probably is necessary to address private property, because I think we've all experienced, we've all seen neighbors and other people, I know on Hickory, down the other end of the block, there was a dumpster there for about 3 months. It's just not right. So, I mean, I think we should not put that in here. I think that should be another ordinance, whether it goes through land use or whether it goes through whatever section. We should address we should address dumpsters on private property too.
So if we address that, why don't we just pass this one?
That's a thought.
Take your $25 out.
I'm okay with the $5 fee, at least it's a step in the right direction to have them on record somewhere. As far as what you're saying with dumpsters and being on private property, I'm not for that at all, because you could have a project, someone could be, remodeling their home, and it could take 7 months. You might not see that same dumpster there, but you'll see, repetitive dumpsters there. So if it's on their private property, then, what's the problem?
Well, the problem is living next to it, looking at it, but if there's a construction project ongoing, I don't think anybody objects to that, you can see it. I know specifically, and I know, personally, that there are dumpsters for, if people don't have a construction permit in the window, the dumpster's sitting out there, you begin to wonder why after a while.
Well, then I think that's a matter for enforcement.
But it's not, but what do they enforce?
Well, if it's a maintenance issue or if
Storage issue.
they have things in there for an extended point of time, that the Board of Health may need to come in and get involved.
That's
That,
the teeth though.
I don't know, you get enough people that will show up and start throwing their own stuff in there.
That's
That kind of handles
That's
itself.
true.
Well,
So that's like, I get, either we're gonna be paying to get rid of somebody else.
That is the risk you take.
That's the, that is the.
It also doesn't help the rent problem, because, somebody throwing a half a
We're
big
in
bag in
public
there.
comment on this ordinance right now, aren't we?
Well, we're actually supposed to be in public comment, but when we presented it, this is up for adoption this evening, correct?
I thought-
There really wasn't any discussion on it when it went.
I understand, but I just thought that we were in public comment on
We are,
this.
we are. But that's the reason I allowed
Okay.
some comments from the dais. Nobody really said anything. When it was on. Okay, any other members of the public, Mr. Del Council?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Al Conti, 545 Locust Avenue. As being a resident of town and also being a local contractor in town, I find this ordinance to be absurd. To put a regulation on how long somebody can have a dumpster in their driveway or sitting in front of their house. If you are doing a major construction project on your house, 2 weeks, it's not gonna happen, all right? I mean, you have a council member up there that had a major construction project on a house. Well, it wasn't even major, it was just a renovation project. And if he would like to say how long it took, 2 weeks is over and above a restraint to be put on it. To build a new house is 6 months. There is a constant need for a container to be on site. A renovation project realistically is 4 months. And garbage is generated the entire 4 months and the entire 6 months for a new house. Whether it sits in a driveway or in the street, I can understand cones, reflectors, a light. I understand all of that. If it needs to be put in the street, maybe you can have a bond floated for damage, which I can understand. But here, you're going after the resident in town or the local contractor in town to to give them a hard time. But yet, I'm gonna beat a dead horse, the utility company has no regulation, okay, for doing their repairs. So, I think you're headed in the wrong direction. To put another restriction on the resident or the local contractor, we have to file permits anyway. And the permits are good for 3 years. So as long as there's work being done, the project could take 3 years. And you're not in violation of anything. So to make somebody have to go down and every 2 weeks renew a permit to have it in the street, I think it's ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Okay, any other members of the public? There being none, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 14-12.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
is there a motion to adopt ordinance 14-12?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 14-12.
Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Roll call. please.
Discussion, Mayor?
Well, is there
Yes,
further
we
discussion?
did not respond to Mr. Belconti.
Okay.
2 items Al brought up. I still support having a regulation. I believe the police department needs one. But I also have an issue with the 14 days. Mr. Matthew was, pointing toward me, to let everyone know I was the council member who had worked on the house. I'm a big boy, and I'll say it myself, Jim. I was a council member who had a dumpster in the street in my driveway for a good 7 months. I guess that sound right? Maybe 8 months? My wife will tell you 2 years, but it was about 9 months, I guess. And so I do agree that the 14 days really doesn't make much sense. I think Lou would tend to agree with that too.
It is renewable.
I know, but having it come down every 2 weeks, Al, I don't want you to take offense to this now, but you know how difficult it is with contractors anyway, in terms of the GC or the plumbing and electrical, who's doing it, who's not, it's gonna fall through the cracks. So, I still have an issue with this, I support, pardon?
I said, maybe the ones you hired.
No, they were good.
I know this contractor doesn't have any issues,
Some people gave estimates, Al.
and they weren't chosen.
Anyway, moving right along. I support the ordinance, okay? And I support the ordinance in the sense that we need to have something. And I'm probably willing to go along with this as it is written, but I am going to look to perhaps amend it down the road.
I don't know if this is a quick question for you or the mayor or whoever, but could we have 2 kinds of permits maybe? One kind for if you just want to throw some stuff out, and another kind that rides on the permits that you have to pull to do a renovation or a new construction?
That's what I'm saying.
And Billy, that would be, now, so why don't we do that? Why don't we agree to go ahead with this for the time being? And then as Al brought up, we have to have another look at this, because what happens if you got 8 months or a year and a half, 2 years of construction? Doesn't seem to fit. I know I'm on the committee, and I know this is late bringing it up, but I didn't think of this stuff, quite frankly.
Well, I mean, you have to figure every month it's gonna cost you $10. If you have a project going on 7 months, it's gonna add another
Just five.
7.
No, we're not renewing.
No,
It's not
we're
all
not
fees for
charged.
one time.
So you have to renew but not pay.
Yes.
So you have to come down and fill out paperwork.
Just to let us,
We'll have it on the form.
it's just to let them
Won't
know
be
that
that
people
difficult.
do the dumpster.
Call me.
I mean, I was gonna say, could they call to renew?
I just,
Once
just
they
a way of
pay.
them knowing that it's okay, that they've renewed it, and give it 2 more weeks. We'll develop a system that works very efficiently for us. That's easy.
And I appreciate all your comments, and this is, these are good suggestions, but I just want to let you know that last month when we had the first reading, I did ask you all if you had any suggestions and any comments,
There you
and
go.
everyone stayed quiet on this.
No, I said the fees need to be increased, I said that last time.
Just give me those, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to agree with Council President Palmer on that. That's why these meetings go to 10 o'clock. I think the committees, if they do, do a thorough job, any issues are brought up in committee, And if you have something like that, where there's a phone call, if I don't like something, I try to influence it before it shows up here. I think that's really a much more efficient way to do it. If there are things, hey, listen, I don't agree with it, the majority's going for it, then I'll disagree up here. But, you know, we gotta try to do this stuff off the day, so otherwise these meetings go on forever. I agree with you.
With all due respect for that comment, the committee did meet many times since practically the beginning of this year, I think maybe even in January, about this issue. We hashed it out back and forth with the police, and we prepared an ordinance that fit the three committee members' approval. And that's why we have first reading. So that's where the rest of the council has an opportunity to ask questions, to express all their concerns. That should be done then. We're at second reading. This stuff should get cleaned up. So I agree with what you're saying about the meeting time, but trust me, it's not the committee here. I think it's the council that has to be mindful of how we're handling this.
Yeah, but also we had some public comments, and I think, quite frankly, I didn't think of when we were in
Right.
committee
Well,
on
and
this.
that's- and
What
that's-
Gene said and what Al said, I didn't think of that stuff.
Right,
Quite frankly.
and that's perfectly fine, but, you know.
I don't think
So-
the council has any reservations about anything that's on the regular meeting agenda. When they're asked, is there anything anybody wants to bring up in workshop? The purpose of the workshop meeting is to work things out. And those questions and comments really should be made at that time instead of waiting until the 11th hour when we're getting ready to vote.
One last note, just maybe as a compromise so we all feel better about this. I think what we can do is have the vote tonight, see how it goes, and let's see how this program gets implemented. It's the first time. Let's see in 6 months, was this a really troubled program? Was the $5 a problem? Was the 14 days a problem? And then we can reevaluate it next year.
It's a good idea.
Okay. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance?
We did it
I
already.
got that already. I know my notes are all running into each other. Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Council President Tarantino.
Aye.
Councilman Martin.
Aye.
Councilman Matthew.
Aye.
Councilman Niersted.
Yes.
Councilman Petrozelli.
Aye.
Councilwoman Fisco.
Aye.
Thank you. Committee report. You ready, Ms. Ariano?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Let's start with the police committee. Councilman Martin.
Okay, no report for the police committee, but I have a report for the negotiations. Just want to distinguish that. Thank you, Mayor. The Borough Administrator and the Labor Attorney had their first meeting today with the representatives from the local 117 Garwood PBA. A report from the Labor Attorney to the Negotiations Committee on the council is forthcoming, and the group will meet again in November. However, they'll continue to communicate via email until the next meeting in November. That is all from my report, Mayor.
Thank you. I've heard the report of police. Do I have a motion to accept?
Be received and spread across the minutes?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public health, Councilwoman Tedisco.
No report, Mayor.
Streets, roads, and ecology, Councilman Nierstab.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two comments. Just a reminder to residents, we put our garbage out. We said this up here a number of times, but I had to start my morning off this morning with an altercation between a commercial enterprise and DPW, and it became a police matter too. When you put garbage out, please put it inside the can. Don't put construction debris in it, and put a lid on it. And if we could all do that, make my mornings mornings a little better. And DPW and the police didn't enjoy being out there either. So if we can all keep that in mind, that'd be appreciated. And second, leaf collection does start next week, October 20th. And if you look in the Garwood Gazette, and also if you go online to the Garwood website, you can see I think the areas and the dates are on the website. If you look at the Gazette, you'll at least see the dates of pickup. And the DPW has specifically asked me, as the leaf drop gets heavier, if we can please just clean up what's in the curb area. Because as they pile up or get pushed down by the water down to the drains, they end up creating flooding situations. And if we can clean that up as we go, the DPW would greatly appreciate it. And that's it, my report, Madam.
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
You have heard the report of the streets, roads, and ecology. Do I have a motion to accept?
Do you receive this right across the minutes?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments?
Yes, you do.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Neerstead, I think our DPW superintendent asked you to remind residents that only leaves go in the leaf bags.
That's correct.
And grass and brush and twigs, please don't put them in there. And there's something about the separated, that things go to different places.
You are correct. You learn as you go, and yes, I was advised that, I think there's a 2-week overlap between the collection of lawn and, I'll say L on the calendar, lawn stuff, and then the leaf pickup. He has asked us directly, please remind residents, the lawn clippings go one place up at the county, and then the leaves go elsewhere. There's different time periods in which they turn them over, and he did ask us to tell residents to keep the branches and the leaves separate from the lawn. Thank you.
I have another comment.
What else did I forget?
Gotta watch out with the bagging, but, no, it's pretty easy tonight. My only comment would be, if you could, get in contact with Fred, and if he could keep track of those extra duties that the DPW is able to get to,
Sure.
because we have leaf bagging, obviously it's something that I'm very curious about.
Yes,
So-
I have discussed that with him.
Okay, I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Thanks.
Just one other thing, did you want to mention anything about the meeting we had with Waste Management or something
Did
like
I do
that?
that last time? I thought that I did, no?
I thought you did.
Yeah, I think I brought it up at the last meeting.
We haven't had a meeting.
Yeah, yeah, we have. I brought it up at the, didn't I thought I did discuss the waste management. We met with them and recycling and how we learned a lot about the collection and how they make money off of glass and aluminum, but they don't make money off anything else. Didn't I bring it up?
Yes, you did. And you also talked about the paperboard accepting.
That's right.
Oh, yes,
Paperwork acceptance,
definitely.
yes, okay.
Okay.
Okay. We will be meeting with another vendor this month.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Councilman, you promised me 2 things.
Yes.
Dates for next year and rates, I could put it in my newsletter.
The date would be the same as the one this year in the sense of it's the
June and August.
week after the garage sale.
Mhm.
And in terms of the amount, we did agree to increase, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Council President, five additional dollars, $85, that's correct.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for, is there anything else I forgot?
And just to
We
clarify,
did discuss that.
You just,
we're having one or we're having 2?
two.
2 we're having,
2.
and we moved the price, and this is bulk pickup, or 2 bulk pickups, $85 each as opposed to $80
Right,
each time.
and just to let residents know, the other costs that the borough is incurring went up, and that's why we have to increase the other costs.
Okay, I was going to ask you to explain that, so
Yes,
thank you.
thank you.
Any other comments?
All right, I'll just comment one quick thing. I am happy to see us keeping 2 pickups for bulk. And as far as the $5 increase, I know we held off on that last time, even though we were sort of getting close there
Yeah,
with
we
the cost.
basically broke even.
Right, so this will keep everything even, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Anticipated to, again, break even.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we've had our comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Only one person in favor?
Aye, I like it.
I scared myself.
Same here, and everybody likes to sleep at the swing, but I'm not the only
We're
one.
gonna need coffee instead of water bottles.
Councilman Matthew, fire.
No report, Mayor.
Finance, Councilwoman Tedisco.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance Committee will be having a meeting with our CFO and Borough Administrator at the early part of next month, which is consistent with what we have been doing for the past 3 years I've been Finance Chair. The purpose of this meeting will be to look at the year and see how the budget has worked out, in addition to discussing ideas for next year. I will report on this after our meeting for the benefit of the public as well as us on the dais, and this will hopefully benefit next year's Finance Committee, whoever that may be. They can take these notes and apply them as they see fit in next year's budget process. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. You have heard the report of finance. Do I have a motion to accept?
Make that motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to buildings and grounds, Councilman Picatelli.
Thank you, Mary. The chimney has been repaired on the roof at Borough Hall. A scratch coat of cement was added to the exterior of the chimney, and a new chimney cap was installed. The total cost was $1,050. That's all for my report.
You have heard the report of buildings and grounds, so I have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Thank you. Any comments? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Laws and licenses, Council President Tarantino.
I do not have a laws and license report, Mayor, but I do have a parking committee report. Can I read that here instead? Since we don't have a parking committee on this agenda? Thank you. The parking committee met on October 1st. Chief Underhill reviewed the parking survey that was conducted by Officer Kleinsorgen, who consulted with Sergeant Morelli. The study was very detailed, conducted over multiple days, ranging from June 2nd through August 14th. Multiple streets were observed on both sides of town. And without giving all the details of the actual study, I'll read you the conclusion from Officer Kleinsorgen that he provided. My observations and results show a large number of vehicles being parked in certain specific areas are due to non-resident commuters who are able to park legally for free all day within close proximity to their chosen preference of mass transit. That was his quote in the parking study. The parking committee is taking this information, and we are continuing to look for solutions for commuter parking to satisfy the residents of the borough that are being affected by commuter parking on residential streets. We hope to have something to present to council in the near future. That is all for my report, Mayor.
I'm going to move along now to what's actually on the agenda, recreation, Councilman Pettit.
No report, Mayor.
I just want to ask you one question. Do you have, is there any, are there enough commissioners on the rec commission? Is that a full contingent?
I believe that there is enough. I mean, sometimes we don't get every member at every meeting, but we do have one tomorrow, so I'll go ahead and have
Will
it.
you let me know if anybody's not showing up?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That hasn't been a problem.
All right. Committee on Aging, Council President Tarantino.
No report, Mayor.
Library, Mayor and Representative, let's speak. There was a library board meeting the first Wednesday of this month. The library right now is getting ready for the upcoming holidays. There will be no morning movie on Friday, October 31st, as it's Halloween. And there will be many school events going on that will interfere with the program, and the movies will resume the following Friday. Thursday, November 6th, 7 p.m., Dave DeLuca will bring his Star Spangled Songbook to the library and perform many familiar songs of all the great composers who kept America's morale going through the Great Depression and the World Wars. Singing along is encouraged. However, registration is required for this event. It can be done at the library by phone or on the library's interactive website calendar. The library's Thursday evening book club will be moved to 7 p.m. on October 13th. As Mr. DeLuca's program is in the book club's usual place, the library will be closed on Tuesday, November 11th, in recognition of Veterans Day, with the book drop for it to be available for your convenience. And because the Garwood Library is a polling place for 2 voting districts, please be aware that although the building will be open to voters on November 4th, beginning at 6 a.m., library business will be conducted only within its normal hours of 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And to please plan accordingly if you intend to visit the library on that day for library business. That is my report. And do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? School Board Liaison, Councilwoman Tedisco.
No report, Mayor. Next meeting is the 21st of this month.
Celebration of Public Events and Holidays Liaison, Councilman Martin.
No report, Mayor.
Community 20-year traffic noise advisory board representative, Councilman Matthews.
No report, Mayor.
Athletic field complex project committee representative, Councilman Petrozelli.
Thank you, Mayor. The monthly construction meeting was held today at Borough Hall. In attendance were Borough Engineer, DPW Superintendent, Musial Group, and Flanagan's Construction. Discussion took place on interior and mechanical parts for the doors, railings for the exterior, fence area under the deck, color of the flooring, fire suppression system for the kitchen, and the site work. The basketball court has been repaired and is ready for paint. If the weather stays dry, they can get that accomplished. The site cleanup has started with the pulling of the weeds and replacing of the dead bushes. All door frames are installed and all doors are hung. We are still waiting for the interior mechanical parts for the automatic doors, as they are expected to arrive this week. Tile is now installed in the bathroom. Toilets are now being installed in the bathrooms as well. Toilet partition walls and sinks are expected to be on site by the end of this week. The light fixtures are installed on the ceilings. The kitchen exhaust hood is mounted and the ductwork is being made to complete the ventilation. Water fountain has been installed and Verizon Bios is installed in the building. That's all for my report.
Thank you. Further report of the athletic field complex project committee representative. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments?
So they're moving along, Lou. Yeah. What's prompted the sudden work?
I don't know, it could be an email or voice. I don't know.
That's what
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Maybe just.
it could be incredible squish, if they don't want to hear from me.
I'm not well liked that.
Thank you.
I don't know, I just think that they're just coming around and, material's starting to come on site. They're just paying more attention.
To your point of view.
And just, do we have any deadlines or any projected completion date?
Well, I asked again today, if they had everything there, it's always the same thing, that if they had it, they wouldn't say it, but things are starting to move around. I mean, I can't see this taking that much longer. I really can't.
I mean, like, talking about 6 weeks, 8 weeks,
No, I can't see it that much longer.
so shorter than that.
I would definitely, me personally, I would think definitely done before the end of the year,
End of the
end of this year.
Calendar.
That's 4 to 6 days.
Well, is it more than that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple weeks more, yeah.
It's a few more. I mean, I can just tell you what's left is the railings, the, flooring, kitchen exhaust, and bringing the appliances, but until they have everything ready for all that stuff, that's why he won't give a date.
But don't they have to do inspections after all that stuff is done?
Well, yeah, right, they have to go for the CO inspections, right, and that doesn't take that long. I mean, everything, should be okay for that, but then we also have to get the Westfield health inspection order with the kitchen, so.
Because I've seen, sometimes, then somebody has to put something in, then you delay the inspection, and it can happen like that, so.
But it's moving along.
Okay, so we're hoping by the end of the year. The other concern I have too, today is not an example of that. As we get toward the end of the year, how much are we prone to weather-related delays? Sounds like we have a lot of inside work, but the weather could also start jamming us up too, right?
Well, being that they're on the site right now and they're getting the site work done, this is the time for that. So as far as, replacing bushes and things, this is the time of the year for that. The same thing with, making the final repairs on the basketball court. This is the time for it. You don't want to go into where you start to get frost on things when you're, trying to get that work done. So,
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Officers' reports, Ms. Ariano, please read the officers' report.
Municipal County of Area Creswell monthly report for September 2014, zoning code enforcement officer Lance Spano, monthly report for September 2014.
May I have a motion to accept the officers' report as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept the officers' reports as presented, Mayor.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Now we'll move into public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, sign in on the form provided, state your full name and address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. It would be greatly appreciated. Anyone? Anything else? There being none, then we'll just close the public comment portion of the meeting. We'll move to unfinished business. To the consent agenda. Are there any resolutions that anyone would like deleted from the consent agenda at this time?
Yes, Mayor, resolution 14-270, please.
Second.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
We need a motion to adopt as amended.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no, we didn't.
No.
We're still on the motion to
Still on the
remove
deleted.
the resolution deleted.
Oh, was the roll call on that?
Well, we have to do something.
Just do general consent. It's fine.
I mean, you wanted, you
never
could have a
roll
voice
call.
vote if you want, but the mayor called for a roll call, so we need a
All
vote
right,
on
they
that
asked if
before you
there were
can
any
take it out.
resolutions, they said yes. May I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda as is?
No, we haven't, we have, I hate to be hyper-technical, but we first have to vote to remove the
Thank you.
item that we don't want on the consent agenda, to remove it.
Okay, ready for roll call. Council President Tarantino?
Aye.
Councilman Martin? Councilman Matthews?
Aye.
Councilman Mearstead?
Yes.
Councilman Petrozelli?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Tedesco?
Aye.
Okay. Now may I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda as amended?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Council President Tarantino?
Aye.
Councilman Martin?
Aye.
Councilman Matthews?
Aye.
Councilman Mearstead?
Yes.
Councilman Petrozelli?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Tedesco?
Aye.
Okay. There we go. New business. Is there any new business?
Wait, we have to finish the resolution we need to consent agenda.
We deleted.
We deleted it.
Deleted the first one we did.
Do we have to put the table or
No.
not?
No,
All right.
it's deleted.
Deleted. It's gotta be
No problem. You know what, though? I've seen motions to the table on them.
Thank you.
All right, any other new business? Two proclamations this evening. One is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that's October 2014, and Red Ribbon Day, October 25th, and Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd to the 31st, 2014. Moving to payment of claims. Ms. Ariano, please read the payment of claims resolution.
Be it resolved, the following claims as approved be and the same are hereby ordered paid when properly signed and verified, and the payment of payrolls as listed hereby confirmed and ratified.
May I have a motion to adopt payment of claims?
I'll make a motion to adopt the payment of claims, Mayor.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Council President Tarantino?
Aye.
Councilman Martin?
Aye.
Councilman Matthews?
Aye.
Councilman Mearstead?
Yes.
Councilman Petrozelli?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Tedesco?
Aye.
At this time, we're going to be going into an executive session, and I would like to ask Ms. Ariano to please read the executive session resolution.
Yes, Mayor. Closed session, resolution 14271, closed session resolution authorizing executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation relating to area members of the Borough of Garwood, Mayor and Council of the Borough of Garwood, civil summons docket number UNL 447-12, and matters of attorney-client privilege relating to the above, and in accordance with NJSA 10-4-12, closed session meetings open to the public, exclusion of public subject of matter. Whereas it is necessary for the mayor and council of the Borough of Garwood to conduct an executive session closed to the public in order to discuss the above listed matter, now therefore be resolved that the council of the Borough of Garwood hereby move to go into executive session in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act for the purpose of discussing the subject stated above, and be it further resolved the matters discussed in and the minutes of the closed session becoming disclosed to the public whether reason for confidential confidentiality no longer exists. Please let the record reflect that I will not stay for this part of the meeting. I will not take the minutes. The mayor will take the minutes, and I will not return to the council meeting.
Thank you. May I have a motion to adopt the executive session resolution 14-271?
So moved.
Second.
Second, roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Council President Tarantino. Aye. Councilman Martin.
Aye.
Councilman Matthews.
Aye.
Councilman Mearstead.
Yes.
Councilman Petrozelli.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Tedesco.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes, I do. I need seconds to clean my stuff.
Now motion?
I didn't even abstain here. I don't know.
We're gonna
I have to
speak.
close my-
I didn't hear whether action will be taken or not.
No.
No action.
No action.
I don't want to go on that.